Hi, in this video we're going to teach you in detail how to do a two-footed spin. I'm going to show you some different entries, how to start it, some challenges, ways you can improve it so that it will help your one-foot spin one day. So let's get into it. To start this spin, we're going to show you it on the barrier first, so come on over. Okay, very simply, I'm just going to take hold of the wall and I'm going to push and pull with my arms to create a little bit of rotation. So this way I can get my feet used to spinning on the ice and doing a full rotation back to the wall. And obviously I'm right next to the barrier, so if it gets a bit wobbly, I've got that safety there as well. So it's going to start from there. Okay, so that's the first thing I would do just to get you used to spinning on blades, is to try and use the wall. If you find that tricky or you just want to try a different way, there are three main entries we do. We're going to show you them quickly and then we'll break them right down for you. The first entry we can do is gliding on 2 feet. This we're going to do in a spiraling circle. Spiraling meaning that it's getting smaller and smaller towards the middle. When it gets to the middle, I'm going to pull in and do my spin from there. The second entry for a 2-foot spin is from a pivot. So I'm going to put my left toe in because I spin anti-clockwise. I'm going to do some half lemon pumps with my right arm back, left arm in front. And when I'm ready, I'm going to bring all my feet in and my arms in together and create some rotation from my spin. And the third entry for your 2-foot spin is to wind up one way and pull back the other way with your arms. For this one, you just need a little bit of a push off that left foot there. I'm using my toe pick, or you can just get this from a bend of the knee and push back to create the spin. Possibly the hardest entry. There are three basic fundamentals when it comes to spinning that you can use in your 2-foot spin and it will eventually help you one day for your 1-foot spin. The first one is the more you start open and pull in, the better it'll be because you'll have more use of power for speed or longer spinning, and also that we should try and pull in from the ground upwards so we're more stable. Okay, so first theory is everything's out, then it's the ground up, so my feet first, then the arms. So whatever entry you choose to do, you should try and do your feet first and get the spin going with your feet and still have your arms out with what I call a helicopter spin. So this is a helicopter spin. Whatever entry we choose, we come round with the feet, pull the feet in, and I haven't used my arms one bit yet. So now I can add them to make it last longer or spin faster if I use them a little earlier. Okay, so you should try and think about the helicopter spin when you start your spin. That will help you get more rotation when you're on 1 foot. Okay, the second fundamental is to start small and get tall. So again, whatever entry you choose, we should start low down and bring yourself up. And this is changing from a lower center of gravity to a taller one, and that will help bring everything in over your center, so it will help you center your spin. And that again will help you when you get onto 1 foot. So for a spiraling entry, what I'm doing here, I'm doing a fairly big circle, probably a little bit smaller than your hockey circles in your rink. My left knee is bent, my right leg is straight, and I want my shoulders slightly facing out of the circle. So my right arm, right shoulder slightly further back than my left. And that is because it's ready to come around and create rotation. What I do with my feet from here, I have them wide at this point, and I'm going to let this left foot find its pivot point. So it almost stops in a smaller circle. And that's when I bring my right foot in first and spin with my arms out, and then I'll add the arms to keep it going, okay? So your main goal for all these 2-foot spins is to start with your feet and then add your arms. If you need your arms to start the spin, you're not going to have anything to continue that spin once you get into it. Okay, so we need your arms out as you start the spin. Try and start with your feet. So I've got my 2-foot glide. I'm facing out. The left foot finds its center, so it's a smaller circle. The right foot carries on a big circle. The feet come in, and then the arms to finish there. Another thing I like to try and get my skaters to do to get more power into that is at the end of that glide, we're going to do a half lemon pump with that right foot. And that's also where we're going to give this arm a little bit more power. It comes through, or the tennis swing, like that. So the right arm's back, it's set. My feet are a little bit closer together this time because I'm going to now do the half lemon, out and round. Feet come in, tennis throw, adds the arm, and we are off. So that is my favorite entry for a beginner skater to learn the 2-foot spin. Here's some more detail for your pivot entry into a 2-foot spin. So I'm going to use my left toe pick. Now I'm trying to just use the very bottom toe pick because I want this foot to be able to go flat quite quickly. So I don't want to be too far up. I'm going to have my head over my left foot as I go round this pivot. Now that's really important that your weight stays in the middle of that circle. And my right foot does half lemons in and out. Now I'm not coming all the way in. I'm going to leave a shoulder width gap there because eventually that's where I'll spin. We don't need to come any further in than that just yet. So I'm going to just come back to shoulder width. So it goes out and in. My right arm's back just like the spiral entry. Left arm's in front of me at 12 o'clock. And when I'm ready, I'll flatten that toe pick foot and bring my arms in. So once again, it's feet first, then the arms. So once again, the toes in. The right arm is back, the right foot comes around, and in with the feet, goes flat, then add the arms. And when I eventually spin, everything is square. That means everything is facing forwards. So I don't want to spin like this, like we set it up. We use this position to bring it round. Once it's round, everything's square. Okay? Okay, a little bit more detail for you starting your spin on the spot. If we're going to wind up to the right, so clockwise for me because I spin anti-clockwise. Now for this one I like to put my toe pick in very lightly so I've got something I can push off with as I come back the other way. But the basic idea is I'll wind up one way and do a circle back the other way, a little push off the toe before bringing my arms in. So that doesn't require any pivoting or gliding, it's just twist and go. Now, just like the spiral entry, and we did that half lemon with your feet, you can actually do a little bit of that with 2 feet as you start this off. So if I wind up this way, what I'm actually going to do is guide this left foot back out away from me, and this right foot forward out to get a bit of width between them before bringing them in. Okay, the wider you go there, the more power you'll have to use in the spin, so you can make it longer or faster. So it goes out and in. Then add the arms. Okay, where to position your feet. When you do a 2-foot spin, we'd like your feet to be very slightly offset, like this. So because I spin anti-clockwise, I'm going to have my right foot slightly further forward than my left. And I'm going to think about being on the back half of this blade, so not quite on the heel, and on the rocker or the front to middle part of my left foot. So I don't want to be on the heel or the toe pick either. Okay, so you can have too much of both. We'll talk about that in a second. But if I just have a look at this spin, I'm on the back half of the right foot and the front to middle part of my left foot. So you can't hear the toe scratch. It's just on the rocker. That is the smoothest, smallest surface area of both blades to help you spin. If you get that wrong, you will grind to a halt. You'll find your edges catch and it's just flat, it doesn't want to go. If you scratch the toe, that will also stop you. Okay, so you want that nice spot there on the back half of your right and the front half of your left. Okay, let's look at some common problems for your 2-foot spin. The first one is being too tall to start with. When you're too tall, you're top heavy, so it's quite hard to balance. So whatever entry I choose, if I'm really tall to start with, and this suddenly speeds up, I've got more chance of losing my axis and falling or getting off balance at least. All right, doesn't matter which entry I choose. If I'm up too much, my head is the heaviest part of my body. And when you're new to this, you're not quite sure where the center is, it's quite easy for it to be off balance. So, like we said earlier, start small and rise up. There, you'll feel where the middle of the spin is and you'll be able to get your balance through your spin. Okay? The second problem for 2-foot spins is scraping of the blades. So you'll hear this when the blades aren't quite in the right place or they're misaligned. Maybe they're too open, maybe they're too close. That's scary. But when they're not on the right part of the blade, you're causing friction and it's going to slow you down. So we want to make sure you're on the back half of the outside foot, my right in this case, and the front and middle part of my left foot. So it's nice and smooth. You shouldn't hear it too much. Okay? The third problem that we find in 2-foot spins is your speed. Either too much or not enough can be a detrimental part to your spin. If I go too slow, I just do not have enough speed to create that spin. Okay, so you need enough speed to use as momentum that you can pull into the spin with. Okay, you don't need a lot, but you do need a bit. Now, too much speed also will throw you off balance, especially if you're new to this and you're top heavy and you go for it too much. Your head will throw you in every direction going, and that won't help you. So watch your speed. Okay, here's some ways you can improve your 2-foot spin. The first way to improve your 2-foot spin is to read your notes again because you forgot what you're going to say. The first way to improve your 2-foot spin is to try the helicopter spin that we did earlier, okay? And that is to try and create spin with only your feet, so you're not using your arms, so you can bring them in afterwards, okay? If you do that, you'll have more power to play with. So there's another way you can improve your 2-foot spin. You can make it longer or faster if you have those arms out, and add them later. Woo-hoo-hoo! You can get a much faster or longer lasting 2-foot spin. If you have real trouble balancing in your 2-foot spin, try this to improve it. We're going to do a dip spin. So I'm going to go about halfway down on 2 feet. And I'm going to start the spin quite low and then come up from there as I pull in. All right, you're going to have much more balance down here if you struggle with that and it wobbles a lot. Start lower, much lower, and then rise up as you pull it, and that should help. Right, here's a couple of challenges for your 2-foot spin, and this is geared towards getting you used to skating and balancing eventually and spinning on 1 foot. Okay, so the first challenge is to try and actually now, on purpose, find that first toe pick in your 2-foot spin. So you're going to hear this 2-foot spin. This isn't good for a 2-foot spin, but it is good to find that sweet spot for your 1-foot spin, that gentle toe scrape. You can do this on 2 feet. So I start spinning and just finding that toe pick and scratching it. And you'll notice it does slow down quicker because it's not a good part of the blade to spin on 2 feet. When you get to 1 foot, it is the right part. So very first toe picks, just scratching ever so lightly from there. And it's a good way to just feel where that is. And if you're making those loops on the ice with your toe pick, you know you're in the right place, okay? And from there, sometimes with your feet fairly wide apart, we can start to just lift this foot off the ice very gently. So we're not going full on all the way in and committing to 1 foot. I'm just gently going to lift this foot and get a feel for what that's like to sit on my spinning foot. For me, that's my left foot. So I start the spin, I find that sweet spot, I'm just going to lift up ever so gently, and I can push and go again, push and go again. And when I feel comfortable, I can pull that all the way in and start to progress to 1 foot. So the 2 foot spin really is the basis of your good 1 foot spin. It's worth you spending the time getting that 2 foot spin really, really good, so that your 1 foot spin is much easier and a shorter journey, which I'm sure you'd all like. If you're ready to start your 1 foot spin, check out this video here as I go through it. It's a fairly old video, but it's still got some really good tips in there for your 1 foot spin. I will get around to doing a newer one soon, but if you made it to the end of this video, leave me a comment, guys. How's your 2 foot spin going? Are you starting 1 foot? Let me know the problems you're having and we'll try and solve them together. So leave us a comment below. Otherwise, have a lovely day. Please like and subscribe for the channel and we'll see you next time.